Day 4, Mind and Body Renewal with Take Back the Table. Day 4, Deeper Awareness and Progress Day. We take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Today is a notable day, and it's about your renewal journey. You started off with day 1, right? You didn't know what was going on. Day 2, maybe you slept off and didn't do day 2. Maybe you got back to day 2 on day 3. And then finally day 3, and then day 4, and now you're starting to see, okay, this is becoming a pattern. I can do this. And Henry Ford says, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And maybe you're telling yourself, I can't do this. I don't have the time. Or maybe you're saying, I can do this. I'll make the time. Either way, you're right. But I would prompt you to recommit if you haven't. If you've been sloughing off and you just haven't been committed to it, right now is your decision to keep going through this and commit and start right now so that you do this every day in the morning, same time, and you'll see the results. Today, your awareness is a bit deeper. And it can be uncomfortable sometimes, and that's okay. This is just letting you know that the healing is taking place because you're starting to feel something. You're starting to feel something and you're changing something. So lasting change requires endurance, and it requires God's strength for us in this whole process. Isaiah 41:10 talks about that. So much like learning a new language is really frustrating until it's not. Until is such a powerful word. Have you ever started playing the guitar and it's really frustrating? Until it's not, right? So that is a great moment when you start to understand, you start to know, and you start to believe it is possible to do something different than you've always done. It's expanding your brain. Your mind is undergoing transformation. This pain means that your brain is actually rewiring and a new, healthier thought pattern is taking place. You can do just about anything with this if you just have endurance and you push through it and you push through those uncomfortable moments. You commit and you learn something a little bit new each day and keep going. So maybe you're like me. You're a slow learner. God, am I a slow learner? It's taken me a lifetime, seems like, to figure this out. That you have to push through those hard times. And this is going to be tough. But when you get to the end, you look back and you're like, wasn't so bad. And now I'm going to keep going because I know I can do this. And I know you can too. But this is that pivotal moment where you're trusting God's timing and you allow His peace to guide you through this process. Philippians 4:7. And eventually, maybe you don't get it now until you do. Let's do our centering exercise. Body scan with prayerful reflection. Today we're going to use an exercise to scan your body and release stored stress and invite God's presence, or at least a higher power, into our healing process. So first I want you to position yourself in a quiet place and close your eyes. Now on this one I prefer to lay flat, arms and legs spread out. And I want you to take a deep breath saying, Lord, renew my mind, or just renew my mind. And as you exhale, I want you to say, I surrender my burdens to you, or I surrender my burdens. Scan your body from head to toe, real slowly, working through your hair, your forehead, your eyes, your nose, your chin, everything, all the way down to your toes. And make note of anywhere that you can feel extra stress, or tightness, or a pain, or whatever it is. Then I want you to visualize when you breathe in, you're breathing in God's light, or that higher power. That light is actually going to that specific space, and it's bringing peace and healing to that place. And when you breathe out, all that pain goes with that breath out of your mouth or your nose. And then I want you to repeat that a couple times and see if that helps. Let's move into our 4-step process. Step 1, be still, identifying your emotional and physical discomfort. So today's exercise that we just did is about embracing that awareness rather than resisting it. Ask yourself these questions and write down the answers. Is there any memories that might be the cause of the discomfort that you just identified in your body? What emotions come to mind right now, and why? How is God using this discomfort to bring awareness to your healing? Write down those answers. Step 2, the breakdown. Reframing this discomfort. Rather than seeing this discomfort as a negative thing, let's recognize it as a sign of growth. Reflect on these questions and write the answers. What is this discomfort revealing about my thought patterns? How does this align with the changes that I desire? How does Scripture encourage me to push forward despite these challenges? Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. James 1, verse 2 and 3. If you've never read the book of James in the Bible, this is the most practical daily life book in the Bible, in my opinion. I would suggest you read it because it is so insightful on the things that you go through throughout your day, week, month, year. Now take a moment and let's do a little bit extra, and let's, number one, describe the discomfort. Write down what it is. Is it emotional, physical, spiritual? Number two, identify the thought patterns. What thoughts keep coming up in your mind? Number three would be to find biblical truth to combat the negative thoughts that are in your head. If you have the Bible app on your phone, which I highly recommend you get, download the Bible app. It's called the YouVersion Bible app. And you can go in there and you can hit the little magnifying glass and just type in words like fear or loneliness or whatever, and it will bring up verses that combat those lies or give you something to hang on to that you can start to speak truth into your life. And then number four would be to commit to change. What new thought do you want to focus on? Do you want to direct your mind towards instead of those negative thoughts? So write all this insight into your journal and then acknowledge them as the first step in overcoming these toxic thoughts, symptoms, or troubles that you're having. Step 3, the renewal, aligning with the truth. So now that you've written some of those reflections, let's revisit them with a better lens and maybe think, do my thoughts align with biblical principles or God's thoughts, or even just a more positive view? Where am I still holding on to fear? How can I make steps to shift my focus throughout the day to more positive things? You could speak aloud one of these scriptures over your fears. For example, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. Highlight any new insight and write it down in your journal. Step 4, go. Take action and declare the healing that is taking place. I want you to do two things today. We're going to set up that timer to go off every hour for 7 or 8 hours, and I want you to write this in the label. Discomfort is a sign of healing. My mind is being renewed. And then number 2, I want you to set up a little reward for today. Set aside a little time that you can go and do something special for yourself. In doing this process, you got to set up that reward. Go take a walk, watch a movie, paint something, play an instrument you used to play, listen to music, ride a bike, whatever it is. Set apart that time today. Take some time. Don't just set it and don't do it. Actually do it. And that helps to reinforce the progress that you're making and the peace and gratitude that you're feeling. Your food action step, week 1, that daily logging template. So think back today and the days past, the last 4 days, the little details you might have missed. Maybe you had some crackers, some soy sauce, ketchup, hot sauce. Maybe you forgot to log a candy bar, or you just slipped it in and you didn't want to tell anybody because you think you might get judged. Somebody's going to look at your list. Nobody's looking at this list. This is for you to find out your triggers. Be honest with yourself and don't omit anything, okay? And as a bonus, drink warm tea. My favorites are green tea, rose hip tea, and mint tea. Now, we've mentioned before how this reduces inflammation and it soothes the digestive system, but it also works as an additional way to get more water into the body to help you stay hydrated. It helps with stool softness, preventing constipation, hemorrhoids, straining, improving cognitive function, and a ton of other benefits just by taking in more water. So if you're somebody who drinks sodas and a bunch of juice, replace it with some tea, and I promise you, you'll see some benefits from it. Our fitness action step for today is to find an accountability partner. Call somebody and tell them to call you and remind you or send you a text to do your exercises or do your Take Back the Table program. When that accountability is there, it helps to remind you and helps you to stay accountable to somebody else. Like, they're going to check in on me, so I have to do this because I don't want to tell them, no, I didn't do it, and feel that shame or regret. This is not about shame or regret. This is sticking with it. And then today, I want you to do 100 bodyweight squats. Sound like a lot, right? But when your timer goes off for that reminder, I want you to do 10 squats. So break it up over those 8 hours. That's 80 right there. You do 10 when you wake up, 10 when you go to sleep, and then you can celebrate the fact that you've done 100 squats today. That's a big accomplishment. A lot of people can't do that. Now, if that's too hard, you can always do a half sit, or you can do less reps. There's always a way to regress or progress in exercise. If it's too easy, do some jump squats. Those are tough. Our reminder for the day. This week's focus is about that food logging template. I'm not going to harass you about it. It should already be in your phone. Start using it. If you haven't already, do those affirmations in your phone when the timer goes off. And when the timer goes off, add in those 10 squats. That way by the end of the day, you'll be at 80. So do 10 in the morning, 10 in the evening, you hit 100 and celebrate. And then remember to reward yourself for that. Do something special for yourself. Remember, healing is happening physically, emotionally, spiritually. And Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So let's press forward, and I'll see you in day 5.